Well, hello there. I'm Cosmic Cannibal, and this is the Cosmic Cannibal Podcast, your monthly report of all things astrology, from zodiac signs and planets to transits and horoscopes. And let me tell you, have I got a report on a really big horoscope transit this week, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Can I call this a monthly podcast if I only do it every 3 months? I don't know, maybe I'm splitting hairs there. It just seems kind of odd to be calling this podcast that. Anyway, yeah, we have a really big transit happening this weekend. Jupiter conjunct Uranus. Jupiter conjunct Uranus. However you want to say it. I hope Jupiter is not conjunct Uranus because, ouch. Jupiter's a really big planet, gas giant. You don't want that up your butthole. What a start, right? Welcome to this podcast. So this is a really big transit, and you're probably going to be hearing about it if you are within the astrology community. I've already posted a little itty-bitty article, actually 2 itty-bitty articles on how to work with Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. That's on cosmiccannibal.com. I also have a report on the zodiac signs that are most impacted by the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and you can find that little nugget of wisdom on my Substack, cosmiccannibal.substack.com. But self-promotion aside, the reason why this is such a massive transit, pardon the pun there, is because it involves Jupiter, the gas giant, and Uranus, the planet of upheaval, disruption, pretty much anything goes. It's sort of like a middle finger planet. It's like, guess what? You don't like this? I'm going to do it anyway. It's very punk, right? Uranus is like the punk rock planet of astrology. Jupiter is like the party animal. It's just like, let's do it, man. Let's go for it. It's that friend at the party that's like, yeah, I'm going to take a 5th shot. And you're like, I don't really think we need to. And Jupiter's like, yeah, but let's do it anyway. And then Uranus is just kind of like, I need to find a way to disrupt this in some way. It's a powerful and dynamic alignment because it's bringing a unique blend of these planetary qualities. So Jupiter's the planet of expansion, abundance, going big or going home. It's, again, if we want to assign states to these planets, Jupiter's the Texas of planets. I want to say Uranus is South Dakota, but that feels really wrong. But it's bringing expansion, it's bringing innovation, it's bringing sudden breakthroughs, because that's what Uranus likes to do. And it's bringing those things in the areas related to money, values. We can go as far as saying personal growth, but I think it's also like climate, global affairs, because that's what's going on right now, right? We can't ignore the context of our culture and what is currently going on within global politics and just commerce, and I was going to say current events, but that felt very redundant. So Jupiter and Uranus make a conjunction approximately every 14 years or so. And the last time Jupiter and Uranus conjoined in Taurus was in 1941 in the midst of World War II. It's not coincidence, right? We are currently experiencing global strife, global warming, global instability. We're not in World War III, thank God, but we still have the war in Ukraine. We are having this continued onslaught, strife and grief and war going on. It's not coincidence that the last time this conjunction occurred was at a point in time where there was also global conflict. It's because the conjunction, which is simply just the coming together of these 2 planets in the same sign and degree, it occurs in a single zodiac sign, and it tends to initiate a new cycle of expansion, innovation, and breakthroughs in the area of life governed by the sign that conjunction occurs. So these alignments are significant because they bring sudden changes, they bring opportunities, and they bring shifts in consciousness, both on a personal but more on a collective level, because these are outer planets. These are planets that are not in astrology considered to be the personal planets. The personal planets are Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Those are the planets that are like, hey, this is me, this is my personality. These planets change signs quite regularly. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they are planets that tend to impact and affect generations, or they impact and affect the trends within certain cultures. So when we see conjunctions involving outer planets like Jupiter and Uranus, it's speaking to something that's going on collectively, globally, and culturally. So the last time that this conjunction occurred in Taurus, countries around the world were mobilizing their economies and populations for war efforts, and this led to significant social and economic changes. Economy is what Taurus rules. The Uranus element of this, Uranus is the planet of innovation, it's the planet of breakthroughs, technology changes. Jupiter is a planet that expands anything it touches. So the rationing of goods, the conscription and industrial production for military purposes became commonplace during this, in the years surrounding the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in 1941. It's something that affected daily life for millions of people. Again, Jupiter is big. Jupiter affects not just you, not just me, but everybody, especially when it makes a contact with an outer planet like Uranus that is staying in a sign for a very long stretch of time. What we also saw during that last conjunction in the 1940s was advancements in technology and science. That's very Uranus. And these advancements had to do with aviation, weaponry, things that were about and related to, defense and keeping countries and keeping things, quote unquote, safe. We also saw the development of radar, jet engines, nuclear fission. That's very Uranus. And all of these had really profound implications for warfare and global power dynamics, culturally speaking, because we can't overlook Taurus's impact on the arts. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of art. It's the planet of beauty. It's the planet of money, yes, and relationships. But in Taurus, or as ruler of Taurus, we see the more fiscal and artistic expression of Venusian energy. So we see it as more of like the feel of things, like the sensory approach, the aesthetics. And so the 1940s, it marked the golden age of Hollywood cinema. We saw classic films like Casablanca, Gone with the Wind, Citizen Kane. These were movies that were captivating people all over the world, and they became classics. Music also played a significant role in shaping the cultural landscape. We saw the emergence of swing music, jazz, the big band era. I don't know if we're experiencing that same type of cultural, burgeoning of classics. Sure, K-pop is popular right now, and Dune 2, is now on Amazon Prime, but I don't think those have the same impact as Casablanca, Gone with the Wind, and, swing music. But moving on from that, what does this Jupiter and Uranus stuff really mean? So Jupiter's transit through Taurus, it amplifies those themes of abundance, growth, and material prosperity. Because Taurus is an earth sign, it's a sign that is related to the resources of the earth, and it is, as I mentioned, ruled by Venus. It has such a strong tie to the material world, to finances, to values, and the senses. So Jupiter being the planet of expansion in Taurus, it has magnified our desire for security, stability, and tangible rewards. Where that happens depends on your rising sign, because that's going to tell you where you're experiencing Jupiter's sort of slow growth through Taurus. But we can really see the clash of Jupiter's desire for, or Jupiter and Taurus's desire for security and stability. Taurus loves security and stability, but Uranus has made all of those things that are associated with Taurus, commerce, agriculture, even the arts, and just the economy, very, very, very unstable. So Uranus has been in Taurus since April 2018, and it's brought a revolutionary energy to the realms of finance, to resources, to our material world. We're seeing a really big upswell of climate crisis. We're seeing so many things happening on the regular in relation to the world, the earth, all of the things that are physical on this planet. Uranus is the planet of innovation. It's the planet of disruption. It's the planet of sudden change. It wants to challenge the status quo. Again, it's the punk rock person. It's encouraging all of us to break free from outdated structures and limitations, but it doesn't really care about our comfort. It doesn't care about our well-being. It doesn't care about if we're happy with those changes or not. It's really like the Henry Rollins of astrology. But yeah, Uranus has been in Taurus since April 2018, and we've seen the effects of this transit since then. We've seen them really amp up. So we've seen significant shifts and upheavals in our financial markets. We've seen an upswell in climate crisis and climate catastrophes. We've seen kind of sustainability initiatives. I think we're more just being aware of our lack of sustainability initiatives, or how much those sustainability initiatives aren't being taken seriously or being ramped up because of our collective fascination with greed. We've also seen changes in how we value and utilize resources. And I'm talking mostly about, I want to say, the rise and fall of cryptocurrency. You know, Uranus and Taurus invites us to embrace new technologies, unconventional approaches to wealth, and ownership. Because you think about Taurus is a very acquisitive, somewhat greedy earth sign. In its worst moments, it wants its possessions, and it wants to keep what it thinks its own property, right? It is very possessive in that way. We've also seen alternative forms of currency and exchange. So the whole thing of like possession and acquisition, I think we witnessed that really big in the war in Ukraine. Russia comes in saying, no, we want this particular part of land for us because we think it belongs to us. That's very Uranus and Taurus. It's the bad expression of it. I'm in no way saying that it's good, but this is what we're seeing. This is how we're seeing Uranus and Taurus play out. You know, I would have preferred, in the realm of like currency and exchange, I would have preferred a bartering system, right? I would have preferred to be like, hey, I have an extra roll of toilet paper. Can I have a carton of eggs? As opposed to that newfangled NFT and cryptocurrency craze. But, you know, whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. Another interesting thing I want to note with this conjunction is the degree in which it's taking place. It's happening 21 degrees Taurus. So if you have any placement at 21 degrees Taurus, or you have any placement at 21 degrees of an earth sign or 21 degrees of a fixed sign, you need to take note of this transit. It is going to impact you as an individual. And I mean, it's going to impact us all as individuals because it's going to impact us globally. And I'm not saying that something's going to happen on April 20th when this conjunction occurs. Is it ironic that it happens on Earth Day? I don't think so. I think something's going on with us globally in relation to the way that we treat the Earth. And not to get too, like Mother Earth about it, but we're not too kind to Earth. And this conjunction could remind us of that. I think more, it's going to just begin something that is a new cycle. I don't think it's just going to happen like one and done. And I've heard that it could be potentially explosive. I've used that word because Jupiter expands, Jupiter mushrooms. Jupiter, blows things up, to pardon my poor phrasing there. And Uranus can be pretty sort of unpredictable. So when you combine those two energies, you could have something that's potentially explosive. I'm not saying that it's like the IED of transits, but, we want to be aware of what's going on globally and culturally. I'm not here to say that anything bad or good is going to happen, but it's an important transit, and it's something that we're talking about for a reason, and it's occurring in this 21st degree. And the 21st degree is a Sagittarius degree, and it's a Jupiter degree. Traditionally, it carries sort of themes of optimism and, thirst for adventure, because Sagittarius is the archer, and it's the spirited explorer, and it wants to discover and seek truth and wisdom in the vast expanse of the universe. And Jupiter is like, hey, let's go to a different country to learn something new, and let's broaden our horizon, and let's embrace new experiences and pursue higher ideals. This transit could have that energy. If you have planets or placements in that 21st degree, they have that energetic imprint. They're imbued with a sense of optimism and abundance and possibility. Transits that occur in this degree also carry with them an inclination towards exploration, philosophy, but I think more expansion. I think it's an innovative transit. I think it's a generative transit. It's a transit that, if we lean into the positive expression of its energies, or the more constructive expression of its energies, we can do something that's really groundbreaking. We can do something that's going to be very liberating, something that is groundbreaking, liberating, and innovative for the collective, for us globally. And it involves breaking away from greed. It involves breaking away from acquisition and power and, this consumption and materialism, because those are the bad expressions of Taurus. The good expressions of Taurus are like, I want to walk barefoot on really green grass and soak in the sun, cue Sheryl Crow. But we could go as far as saying that this conjunction taking place at 21 degrees Taurus is a global degree, because the 21st degree, it's, associations with Sagittarius and Jupiter, these two planets that love to go beyond the limits of its birth, right? So it's wanting to move past its birth location, go to different countries, and, it's really going to happen, really going to affect all of us, which is true of every transit. But that this conjunction is at this degree, and it also involves Jupiter, I think it only furthers its potential for expansion and global reach. So yes, it's a rare alignment. It's occurring at 21 degrees Taurus, and it's merging the expansive energy of Jupiter with the revolutionary force of Uranus. It might catalyze sudden breakthroughs, sudden innovations. It might catalyze a paradigm shift in the material realm. So it might mark a point where we get really serious about changing the way we approach commerce, changing the way we approach agriculture, industries, the stock market, the workforce, the climate. We're seeing a lot of the repeated patterns from COVID-19 and 2020, where we had, food scarcity and the market was unstable, and, there was like diseases going on. I'm in no way saying that there's going to be another pandemic. God, I hope not. But those are things that had to do with Uranus and Taurus. They had to do with other planets going on. But with this particular transit at this particular moment, it marks a very significant point for us to get serious about what we're doing to the earth, what we're doing with money, what we're doing to each other, how we're valuing money, how we're valuing the earth, and how we're valuing our resources and how we approach liberation. So, of course, these are things that we're already thinking about collectively, but I think, if we think of the collective mind as a hive mind, I think it's just going to be like really, really, really buzzing in the days around April 20th. Again, if you have birth chart placements or sensitive points at or near 21 degrees Taurus, and I say near, I would stretch that out to even like 16 degrees to 26 degrees. So if you have anything in a fixed sign, in an earth sign from 16 to 26 degrees, this transit is going to be impacting you. If it's closer to 21 degrees, it's really going to be impacting you more acutely. You'll feel it, right? You're going to feel the innovative energy. You're going to feel maybe a little restless. You're going to feel maybe a little excitable. You might feel more optimistic. You might feel like, oh my God, I have this really good business idea. I have a breakthrough for this project that I'm working on. Or you might, have a disruption in your life. But I don't want you to wig out when I say the word disruption. It's a loaded word, yeah, but it's a neutral word in Uranus's dictionary, because the planet's job is, as I mentioned before, to shake things up, to shake up the status quo so that you, me, and everyone around us will actually wake the fuck up and do something different. And because Mars, currently in Pisces, is sextiling both Jupiter and Uranus on April 19th, the same day the Sun enters Taurus, I think there's going to be an extra dose of that motivation. There's going to be a stronger urge to act and to do something different. All of that's going to be really increased. Again, I want us to keep an eye on what's going on in the Middle East, because Mars is the planet of war and conflict. So that could spark something from the retaliation that's, the retaliatory conflict that's going on between Israel and Iran. Again, I'm not saying that should happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying it could. That might be the way in which this transit shows up for us. It might show up in a completely different way. Someone might win the lottery again. Someone might do something really radical about the economy, about the stock exchange. We might see that for the US. It might just have a really, really, really skyrocketing day around April 20th. It might be like, whoa, the stocks have just gone up. Anything can happen when you have Uranus in the mix, and that might be like, wow, what a great astrologer you are. Sounds like a pass, just, oh, anything can happen, don't look at me. But it's really true when you have Uranus. But ultimately, it's the time to embrace innovation, to take calculated risks, harness the dynamic energy of Jupiter and Uranus to ultimately create positive change in our lives and in the world at large. Again, is that going to happen in one day? Fuck no. But it's a moment where we go, yeah, maybe we should actually get fucking serious about this and do something. And in your life, it might be like, I'm going to publish my book. I'm going to put my book on Amazon. You might find that you are just, I don't know, doing something different, doing something revolutionary for you. You might be interested in some sort of, or encounter an exciting opportunity, an unexpected breakthrough, maybe a profound shift in your financial landscape. Maybe you're the one who wins the lottery. Basically, you just want to stay open to new possibilities, to remain flexible, because Taurus struggles with flexibility, but trust in the transformative power of this dynamic alignment, because it's doing something, it's shaking things up, it's innovative, it's electric, and it's something that we're just experiencing, and it's a really, really big moment in 2024, and that's largely why I wanted to make this podcast. So again, pay attention to your chart. Look at where 21 degrees Taurus is happening or is in your chart. If you want to explore this particular transit with me, and we can look at your birth chart and what this transit is doing and what shift it is initiating for you, check out my 2024 birth chart reading at cosmiccannibal.com. I also have, my ebook on Taurus. That's at cosmiccannibal.com. That'll really give you a lot of insight into the sign if you're a Taurus and you're like, what's going on? What is going on for me? And, it's just has some interesting insights into the fixed earth sign that nobody talks about. That said, that does conclude our episode of the Cosmic Cannibal Podcast. I have successfully rambled for close to 30 minutes. That means that it's a really good episode. If you are a longtime listener, you know what I'm talking about. And until next time, I hope you ride out the shock waves of this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on a surfboard of serenity. Yeah, it works. Remember, don't be too punk rock. Don't be the Jupiter guy at the party being like, I'm just, I am going to buy that boat. I'm going to take the 5th shot of tequila and I'm going to spend $7,000 on a boat that I don't need because I just felt the urge to do it. Don't be that guy, right? You want to be the chill guy. You want to be the guy that's, like I said, riding the shockwave on a surfboard of serenity and just being like, hey man, cowabunga, let's do this. And maybe, bring some peace to the world.